forgot to put the video link in the Discord. This rain is very loud. Hi, Sage. Welcome to the stream. I forgot. Oh, hang on a second. I top of my head. It's like, yeah, yeah, that's good. So I was I was doing something, so I forgot to put the link to the stream into the Discord. Eee! Alright. So I think last time I didn't look at the tips because I was really tired, so let's take a look here. Let's see. Or did I? I can't remember. I'm gonna do it just in case. Ooh. Alright, so this might be some outdated medical diagnosis, so let's keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Damn it, my brain's not working right now. How you doing, Sage? Welcome to the stream. I see it in movies quite often, but what is it exactly? Multiple personalities are thought to be escapism. MPD is a form of escape? That doesn't feel right. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to like do some studying later. The mechanism is not fully understood, but it's believed to be a type of defense for the brain to retain mental stability. Hypothetically, poor people imagining themselves as wealthy is a form of escapism, is it not? It's also a form of MPD? I wouldn't go that far, but broadly speaking, one can infer that. It's something that occurs in all of us. Does a split personality occur when one cannot tell which is reality and which is the escape? That's difficult to say. There are some who agree with that and some who disagree. There is no consensus. Then there is the occurrence of multiple personalities still. I heard someone yelling. Hang on a second. I think he was just calling the dogs. Let's see. Fortunately, that is the current state of things. We can only put our hopes in future research. But... doing alright. Try to sell a box of cards so you can get enough money to get on Halloween. Get an EV plush and Nintendo Switch membership cards. Oh, okay. Got some free stuff like some Pokemon cards and old ones like a Pokemon manga. Ooh, nice. Recent studies find that those who develop it, or rather those who are more susceptible to developing it, may be genetically predisposed or may have had an abnormal mental development. Say that childhood abuse increases the chances. Speaking of which, person A here experienced abuse as a child. What is with this phrasing here? Uh-oh. Sounds like one of the dogs found something. Pikachu, Shocks back number 4. Evolve or not evolve? That is the question in part 2. Oh, does that have to do with like that one episode where Ash considers evolving Pikachu to be at a gym? Loosely based on the episode 37 of the Pokemon Indigo League anime. The Battling Eevee brothers. Oh, okay. Oh, I think I remember that episode. Person A has 7 different personalities. Oh, this is a presentation, isn't it? Let's watch a video of him. Right after these commercials. Yep. It's a TV broadcast. God damn it, it had the sad music and everything playing, and only to end it like that. Let's see. Let me look it up here, cause I kind of feel like I need to look this up here. Which was not only the debut episode of Eevee, but also the OG evolutions, Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. Nice. Let's see. The exact cause of DID is unknown, but is believed to be related to severe trauma experienced in childhood, such as physical or... The trauma can cause the individual to develop different coping mechanisms that eventually become separate personality states. Let's see. Air conditioning affecting approximately 1% of the population. Important to note that DID is not the same as borderline personality disorder, although there may be some overlap in symptoms. Yeah, I recommend if you're gonna look this up later, because the research has gone a long way since the time this game takes place now. But yeah, it feels like a lot of things. I don't know. I feel like I'm derailing things a little bit, but it felt important to point it out. Let's get on. Let's keep going. I had no idea what I'm doing. Let's see. Remember, this was way before the Eevee became popular Pokemon we know today. Got some Miraidon themed sleeves. Oh, sweet. Now, you know what? Maybe I will continue playing Pokemon Violet. I just have to get my Pokemon leveled up adequately. Ooh. I don't know if y'all heard that. I think they're watching a game in the next room. I will admit, I do like Violet, but it is a little bit above mid, if that makes sense. There's a couple of things that are holding it back. The glitches, I don't really mind so much, though. I feel like saying that is gonna get some people angry at me, but that is how I feel. Finished reading some R.L. Stine Nightmare Room, Book 1. Ooh. Nightmare Room. I feel like I might have... I'm not sure if I've read that one or not. Yeah, I was looking on Tubi the other day, and they got the Goosebumps series on there. Maybe I should watch it for old time's sake. Alright, let's get back into this. The 7th mark was a bargain of supermarket with food and alcohol. What's this, Keiichi? Whoops, wrong button. So many. There's no reason to get all the different kinds in there, is there? I flopped all these different colored cup noodle bowls into the cart. Cup noodles have gotten so elaborate recently, and there are a bunch of different... Gotta mute myself for real quick. Okay, we might be good. Oh. At least it's not Sword and Shield. Find it meh. Oh yeah, Sword and Shield could have definitely gone in a better direction. At least story-wise. Gameplay-wise, the Gigantamax Pokemon might be a good gimmick. Big Bad Boss, though. I think I heard somebody say that it was, like, too easy or something. I do like the dogs, though. Yorigana made 3 posts for Zolder Wing. Oh, nice. Want to try each of them at least once. Yo, Keiichi, that's me coded right there, because if there's something new, I want to try it, like, immediately. I knew it was pretty selfish of me, but I thought I'd at least give it a try. Keiichi, buy them in the big case. It's cheaper. Dad faltered. Well, I had a feeling it'd end up like this. Dad knew there was no point in him butting in. Then I'd only get to eat one kind. I get bored with it. I was resisting as a formality. I had already given up inside and wasn't sure which case of noodles to get. If you can't pick one, then Mommy will pick for you. You don't have to rush me. Quickly search cases of noodles for what I want. Pork and bone ginger large cup. Hey Keiichi, can't you get a more normal one? I'll let Mom pick. She'd err on the side of safety and get soy sauce and salt flavored. Pork bone is good. I don't want a big bowl of tasteless stuff. But yeah, the only good was the Gigantamax forms and Cinderace. My favorite starter. But after that, it was okay. And also, this is around TCG, where was one of my least favorite era. Yeah. The legendary dog Pokemon are pretty good, but like, yeah. I remember insisting that the noodles I picked were the right kind. What's the good word on ZA? Oh, scary music's kicking in. In this frozen memory and time, this encapsulated world, I didn't have the power to look around my surroundings. So I did what I could and reached out with my hearing and vision, sharpening my senses to find the presence I overlooked. No matter how much I searched through my field of vision, I couldn't see Rena. I rewound the situation, searching, but of course, I couldn't find her. Then, was she spying on me from my blind spot? I go through the sound and presences again, looking. I could sense the other customers. They were all mixed about, moving as they please. There was nobody looking over this way, and no one trying to get behind me. Not here. Couldn't be here. Probably wasn't here. I would definitely notice if someone was right behind me, even when I was on my guard. I smiled wryly at the thought of using a vague word like probably right before contradicting it with definitely. Then I paused my mental replay as a chill ran down my spine. There was definitely a presence, like a shadow behind me. That was a terror unlike any other. If a presence really had manifested behind me, I would definitely have turned around to check for it. But the world had moved on, and there was no way for me to turn around. While carrying that frightening shadow on my back, I was gleefully running around the store searching for a case of noodles. Running through the instant noodle section, bad-mouthing my mom. But there was that presence constantly at my back, sticking to me like a shadow. Hi, Red. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How's your arm doing? Team Yell is just an off-brand version of both Skull and from Sun and Moon. Oh, yeah. Less evil and more like... At least Team Yell, they were fantabulous. I will give them that much. I didn't like them when I was a kid, but they were fantabulous. No way to see it what it was. Realizing it now after the fact was horrifying and repulsive. In the moment of time, I was running around gleefully, carrying that cardboard box. Tip-tap. But listening to that moment again, I could hear the footsteps as in a mine going pit-pat with every step. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap. Pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. Good, getting a cast early tomorrow. That's good. Would even call them Team Sips. Oh man, I can't even care. That's too good. That's very accurate. Tip up. Sorry, I had to mute my mic for a second. Pit pat, pit pat. Tip tap, tip tap. Pit pat, pit pat. While I was running, the sound of those barefoot footsteps going pit pat were right behind me. Me running around gleefully in that closed off moment in time. Bare feet! Sorry, it just caught up with me there. But I didn't hear it. No. I heard it. That's why I remembered it. I don't think I have heard anything. Didn't think I had heard anything. That's why I didn't turn around. That is why I didn't turn around. That moment, the pit-pat of those footsteps were following me the entire time. I couldn't run faster and escape. I couldn't run away any faster than I had at that time. I couldn't turn around. I hadn't turned around before. Not once. Then I returned to my parents and started talking. The shadow-like presence was right at my back. Since I didn't move, the shadow didn't move. That is why it made no sound. That was all. That time, I hadn't taken a single step while talking with my parents. I was just standing there. This was undeniable. And yet, I heard it. Pit-pat. That shouldn't be. If I took 3 steps, it followed 3 steps. Wasn't that the rule? Seen Disney's House of Mouse? That was one where Mickey ran like a club, isn't it? I saw like a few episodes. Their leader was even a gym leader. If you think about it, it's basically just Giovanni from Gen 1. Yeah. The design for that gym leader, though, he was pretty cool. There was no sound other than that. At the time, the entire world had gone dark. Sudden darkness. It was the end of my reflective journey. I was tired. I wanted to end it. Someone turn on the light. Except my body couldn't move. As if I was sewn into that moment in time. Pit-pat. My past self's hair stood on end. That's impossible. Now that's just breaking the rules. I hadn't moved. So you shouldn't be moving either. Sorry. Fiddling around with something there. I couldn't move. So you shouldn't be able to move either. Follow the rules. Pit-pat. Yes. Yet that sound echoed in the darkness once again. The hair on the back of my neck pricked up on end. It was so close that it was hard to tell whether it was touching the hair or not. Why couldn't I move? Like how the presence was moving behind me. I quickly realized I could move. It's just that I was scared and didn't want to. But now was the only time I could turn around. It was something unforgivable in this moment in time. But I needed to turn around immediately. As if my entire being was trying to force me to stop. Began to administer pain like a needle being stuck into my every pore. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. A scream I was unable to vocalize. I turned around. At first, I couldn't understand the meaning of it. What? What is this? The situation in front of my eyes? It was like a mouse biting an apple and slurping the juice. The way you would do an apple with an apple. My mind was being eaten. Began to munch down, slurping the juices because it was like an apple. Meaning, what was in front of me was... Damn, that must have been one hell of a nightmare. Let's see. True. Day 25 that was the Cosmic Megazord from Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. And the artwork was Halloween Together with Liko, Roy, and Dot. By Dot Matrix. Artwork shows a character from Pokemon Horizons in costume. Nice. Florigato with the bow tie and top hat. Liko Roy and Crocodile dressed as vampires. Nice. Quaxwell and Dot is a wizard. Oh, we're off to meet the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Yeah, sorry. Guess I'd be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. I tried to stay awake all night, but there were definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I keep nodding off and jerking awake in a panic all night. I spent all night hugging the metal bat and sat on the top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting, watching, just in case someone tried to break in through my window. If I left the spot, someone would break in through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break in through the glass and attack me. I tried telling myself that I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. Day 26 was a double feature. Gargantus from Big Bad Beetleborgs and Roboborg from Beetleborgs Metallix. Nice. The thought of being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant taking that risk, I didn't need it. It was so much better just to stay awake. At some point during that endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, a light began to shine outside. But that wasn't it. It wasn't so much as the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. Snuck a peek out through the curtains. Rena was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere, no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe a deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at that moment. I still had time, but I needed to make my own breakfast, so I'd better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option. With my mom gone, it'd be easy to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable, so staying holed up here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Oishi-san wouldn't help me without cold hard evidence. Neither he nor my parents. So unless I found some sort of proof, these relentless nights would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, and closed my eyes, just like I did every morning. The first artwork was Higurashi Monsters, Big Bad Beetleborgs artwork by Enemenomoi. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I embarrass myself. That's a very difficult name to pronounce, though. But yeah, check out that artist. Check out all these artists. Regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Let's go to school. Has to wait until they set their trap for me. But that didn't mean I was just going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap and secure irrefutable evidence. Take note of the plates of any car that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself. I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. Our shows characters from the show Wolfie, the Wolfman, Freaking Beans, Frankenstein, Mums the Mummy, Count Frangula. Count Frangula, that sounds awesome. The tension was similar to when two samurai were both aiming to slay each other in a single motion as they drew their katanas. I was not at a disadvantage. I would have the chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage growing in my chest. Alright, let's go to school. I tightened my grip on Satoshi's bat. He was the only partner I could count on. Satoshi, please lend me your strength and entrust your dying regrets to me, since you were probably murdered. Second was Happy Halloween by Nero. Our show Team Skull and their outfits based on their ace Pokemon with a Zubat in the sky. Oh, nice. That sounds cool. I should check that out later. I'll make sure I dispel them. With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course, I was going to school by myself today. If I didn't want to run into Renau or Mion, I needed to leave now. But what about breakfast? And what about second breakfast? The shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway. Right. I meant to clean that up last night, but never got around to it with the phone call and everything. Yo, I can't remember what website it was, but there was like... I lost my train of thought. Today's post was Xenon's from Superhuman, Samurai Cyber Squad. Ooh, nice. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I can't remember what website it was, but there was a site, there was a shop online where you can buy different flavors of tea based on different books. And there was one that was called Second Breakfast. Oh my god, I gotta try that. I gotta find out what that site is so I can like order some. If my parents came back and saw this while I was at school, I would never hear the end of it. Today the artwork was break on through the other side by 16 hits by Voltron Z1. Ooh. Still, I'd be wasting time if I cleaned it up right now. And considering what would happen if I ran into Renau or Mion. Ugh. Oh my god. Hang on a second. I really apologize if y'all are eating right now, but like, I almost threw up a little, and it tried to come out through my nose. I'm fine now. I think I'm okay. Let's see, the artwork shows Servo Girdman appearing out of the computer screen. Ooh. Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house. Again, apologies to anybody if y'all were eating. My uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today I was going to school in a tracksuit. Wearing a different outfit this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Keep your guard up, Keiichi Maibara. The only one who gets to decide if today is my last is me. Whew, excuse me. I spent the morning practicing my swing like it wasn't my natural routine. After a while, Ren arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Rena said nothing about last night, as if it never happened. But I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers. I just heard her telling Satoko and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen. Though, it wasn't like it bothered me. The details that Oishi-san shared about Rena's incident before her transfer played vividly in my mind. Since I got that all done, let's get to the 10 remaining cards. Okay. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream of Rena as a cute, ideal girl. Rena is no longer his dream girl. That's probably a good thing. Kei-chan, I see you're still aiming for the nationals. It's Mion. I had already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised. Oh, Mion. If you understand, then leave me alone. I'm busy practicing. I gave her a curt reply without my usual jokes. Then I gave the bat an even larger swing, tactically keeping Mion from getting any closer. Hey, Kei-chan, take it easy. I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just... Oh, sorry, that wasn't Mion speaking. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just let me finish practicing. Oh my god, Carrion. How dare you? Welcome to the stream. First with 4 from Sword and Shield. Okay. I swung the bat even harder as a sign of my refusal. Kei-chan, why did you get into baseball? Just recently. Recently? You mean yesterday? Don't ask if you already know. Oh dear. That's a very unsportsmanlike reply. Coughing, dark type with 70 HP. Wheezing. Every time I see a wheezing, I think of like the one James had. Every time it appears, it just... You're distracting me. Go away. I ignored Mion and keep swinging. You keep that up, Carrion. I'm putting you in timeout. Normally she'd get mad or bored and leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder like this. Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. Imagine Pokemon. Yo, we do have the blue-footed boobies. We just need it. We just. Oh wait, there is a Pokemon based on that bird, actually. That's kind of funny. Hey Flash, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Suffocating gas with 10 damage, 1 dark energy. The artwork show coughing coming out of the sewer with the lid being shaped like a Pokeball. Nice. Oh, Karen, where'd you go? Oh my gosh, Karen. Oh dear, that's unfortunate, Karen. I'm sorry. I should have said something. This is tried to retract the last one after you threatened to time me out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's see. Playing Arctic eggs earlier. You're in a facility cooking eggs for just eggs. Congrats on finishing your book. Oh yeah, that's it. That's Asia. Okay. My mind just went blank for a second. Didn't sense any hostility, but we were at school in plain view. I doubt she'd suddenly attack me here. Or was that too naive? The children are in on it. The whole town's in on it. Maybe. Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out. Bronzer, steel type with 60 HP, weak to fire. Ram does basic 10 damage with 1 steel energy. Rambo! Yo, I think those are pretty good movies. Gonna start working on the Pulp Fiction series. Ooh, nice. Hello? Oh, hang on a second. Why did I say... Okay. Speed dive does basic 20 damage with both 1 steel and metal energy. Nah, I believe ya. Oh no, she's shrinking. I am? Oh my god! Sorry, someone had to come in and ask me a question. You need me for something, right? What is it? Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as needed when the time came. I should probably keep practicing my swings to build stamina in addition to the excuse for carrying the bat around with me. Oh no, wait for the video, just periphery. Oh, that's just a video periphery. Okay. Yeah, this... I keep saying I need to work on the new models I have, but I keep not having time for it. I should probably just like save up and have someone else do the rigging for me, but I'm a little scared that the ones that the models I have is not good enough. If that makes sense. Also, it's gonna be like really expensive. Well, it's nothing important. If you're tired, I can ask again later. Now it's fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I judge the situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from others, that's out of the question. Well, Rihanna was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words. But unluckily, she said it didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Rihanna was puzzled, trying to find the right thing to say. Then she gave me a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire. This old man's just not good at this stuff. Having poor vocabulary hurts. What's this all of a sudden? You have something to say, just say it. Bronzoing steel type with 130 HP. Smack does basic 30 damage with 1 steel energy, and Gyro Ball does 70 damage with 1 steel energy and 2 basic energy. Nice. Stop it. Stop that swinging. She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank I didn't understand it for a moment. I had already stopped swinging to listen to her, hadn't I? I just stopped, didn't I? That's not what I meant. I want today to be the last day you swing that bat. I'm sorry. It took me some time to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat? Why? It's none of your business, is it? I'm not bothering anyone, am I? You are. Rian said it flat out. This didn't make any sense, and that was really irritating. When did I bother anybody? Switches Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. If you do, your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. Yarok showed Bronzewings floating in a field of grass in the sunrise. Ooh, nice. Rihanna was at a loss for words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke, though she stuttered as she said it. But because K-chan, that's someone else's bat. You shouldn't borrow it without permission. It was left behind by a student who transferred, right? I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it. Huh? Yeah. He transferred. Rion grew uncharacteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that his transfer was a lie. But strange, isn't it? For the older brother to transfer by himself, while his little sister stayed behind. Rion couldn't hide her reaction at my words, as my words shook her up. K-chan, you knew? Satoshi Hojo, Satoko's older brother, right? The one demoned away last year? Unable to respond to that, Rion fell silent. Rena asked me the same thing. Why did you start swinging that bat? She told me Satoshi did the same thing, practicing his swings right before he went missing. That's from Rebel Crash, Drago Pewit, Big Max. Psychic type with 320 HP. Shred does 60 damage with 1 psychic energy. Shred? Oh my god, it's shredding on the guitar! Oh my god, that was so stupid. That was just a stupid joke. Its attack isn't affected by any of your effects. Good moment. Got her stunned. Good moment. Oh my god, that joke was so dumb. So, is this some kind of omen for Yashio-sama's curse? Shh! Mion panicked and looked around. Please, Kei-chan, don't mention Yashio-sama so recklessly. I don't believe in him, but the others very much do. Yingwei Mom Steam style. And Max Phantom does 130 damage with 3 psychic energy. Nice. Rena especially. Dangerously so. Anyway, you're scaring everyone. Ooh, this is a new look on her we hadn't seen yet. If you're just fooling around, then stop it. You have to stop acting like Satoshi. I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bat in the first place? But it still unsettled me knowing that my actions were overlapping with Satoshi's. Let's see. Put 5 damage counter on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. I'll give the joke a 6 out of 10. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but I thought I was making my own decisions. I'll say this now. I don't know anything about Satoshi. After all, you didn't tell me anything about him. We didn't mean to hide it. You were hiding the incidents that happen every year, weren't you? That's because we didn't want to. You didn't want to scare me? That's your reason for leaving me out? No, we didn't mean to. Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I? And you told me nothing happened. When someone was dismembered and murdered, you lied to me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. Friends don't hide things from each other, right? Isn't that right? Then you all aren't my friends. Kei-chan, Mian looked helpless and flustered. Was I imagining the tears in her eyes? I never could have imagined Mian acting like this. Oh, by the way, those get well mochi you brought the other day, they were so good. Thought I was going to bleed. Who did it? You? Or Rena? Me. She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised by how easily that was. Yarick showed a rainbow colorful art of Dynamax Dragopoint, floating in it with a smirk on its face. Nice. You could have killed me. How could you do that to a friend? But it was just a little prank. Mian gave me a wry smile mixed with confusion, causing even more anger to well up inside me. You'd think that was a prank? I grabbed Mian by the collar and lifted her up. That wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce in a piece of mochi. It was a needle. A sewing needle. If I'd swallowed that and it had lodged in my throat, what did she think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't the Mion Sadazaki I knew anymore. Anyways, you're not my friend. There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend. So just leave me alone for a while. Got it? Mion wasn't replying anymore. It won't be that easy to erase me, you know. Cops have been on to you from the start. I don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi. I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war. I think you guys are suspects in previous incidents too. I also know you spent a lot of time with the cops since the anti-dam movement. Don't think you can hide it from me. Got that? How did you... No. Mion stood there dumbstruck with a look on her face. What do we got here? Next is from Champion Pass. Alcremie V. Psychic type with 170 HP. Alcremie. Is that how you pronounce that? Sugary Sprinkles with 1 psychic energy. Heal 30 damage from each of your benched Pokemon. And Sweet Splash does 100 damage with 1 psychic and 2 basic energy. Nice. Oh, I know which one it is now. It's the ice cream Pokemon, isn't it? That was when I heard the principal ringing the bell for school. It was time for morning homeroom. Let's go. The class representative needs to be there, right? At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing as tears ran down her cheeks. You're so mean, Kei-chan. Wanted to console her, but shut my mouth. I had no need to feel guilty. I'm going. Don't be late for homeroom. I left, Mion, still shaking as I turned around to head to the entrance. I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her muttering. It was a faint mutter, as if she was speaking to herself. So that's how it is. Huh? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mion talking to herself. But it was a sobby voice that had a kind of giddy, cursing tone. I inadvertently stopped and turned back towards her. So it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Kei-chan. She balled up her fists and as her tears continued to rain down. She glared at that spot on the ground with a terrifying yet smiling face. Cursing. Chill ran down my spine from that demonic expression. This transformation, Mion's transformation, was different from Retta's. I should have killed him back then. He forgot the mercy I showed him just because he was going to retire this year. Retiring this year? Was she talking about Oishi-san? Damn it. Damn it. I'm going to kill that damned old man. Felt like the air itself had begun distorting. With Mion at the center, the world had begun to twist and spiral. Bending. Whirling. This was the first time I'd experienced such a visage. I'm scared! Alright. Let's see here. Meant to say all creamy and you're correct. Okay. Art shows a full art of all creamy jumping from out of the tree. Aw, that's cute. Here we go. Interesting. Yep, things are about to get crazy. Rise, attention. Mian made an excuse for her red eyes by saying there was something wrong with her contacts. After that, neither Rena nor Mian spoke to me for the rest of the day. Neither Satoko or Rika-chan looked me in the eye. Strangely, I didn't feel hurt. Everything had just went back to the way it was. The month I had transferred in had almost been too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. I should have disliked that feeling, but today it felt oddly refreshing. The bell rung, sounding the end of the monotonous school day, which had felt so tense yet so dull. Since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories if they asked me to join the club activities, I promptly started preparing to go home without even looking at them. Stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped a hand around Satoshi's now familiar bat, began heading towards the entrance. Yo, we're not hearing how Satoko feels about Keiichi carrying around his bat, though. I feel like she would be kind of upset about that. Let's see, from Vivid Voltage, Pikachu V, electric type with 190 HP. Charged with 1 electric energy, search your deck for up to 2 electric energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Sweet. I was assailed by both exhausting relief that nothing had happened today, and the tiring possibility of the same thing repeating tomorrow. But deep down inside me, far beneath in the recesses of my own heart, achingly I knew this would be the last day of this cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be. Whether it would end as I wished it to end, or if it would end as I hoped it wouldn't. Regardless, in my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There was something I wanted to know. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless. The sun, the heat, even the air. Thunderbolt does 200 damage with 2 electric energy. Art shows Pikachu charging up with his cheeks, shooting sparks. Oh, cute. They wouldn't give me my answers. What could it be? That the kinds of the Higurashi were desperately trying to tell me something. Somewhere mixed in with their shrieks, Tomitake-san and Satoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. I simply haven't been able to realize it yet. When I do realize it, I wonder if I will be amongst the Higurashi, fruitlessly crying to the next victim. Glancing down at my feet, I saw a Higurashi on its back, spasming weakly. This Pikachu B will be released in the Pokemon TCG Battle Academy 2022 set, along with Cinderace V and EVV Dark type. Oh, sweet. There was so much of the summer left, yet this one was already chirping its last song. I couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. Is that little fella? Timmy's stuck down a well? I'm coming, Timmy! Sorry. No time for jokes. The shit's getting serious. Next two are from Shining Fates. Ooh. At that moment, the shrills of the Higurashi ceased all at once, as if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who'd brought them to their dreadful fate had arrived. There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent. If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat, and this place was a rush of adrenaline that sharpened all of my senses. Kyogre, water type with 120 HP. Nice. Timmy! I was barely able to hold back that creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. It was something I couldn't hold back for long. But in this moment, I needed to be razor sharp. I was able to retain my composure. I wasn't going to shout like I did yesterday. I hid myself calmly among the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. Sorry. Could I get them to pass by me? No. Since I was able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear mine. They might have already been able to tell that I had hidden myself and was holding my breath. Amazing Surge with both 1 water and electric, steel, and basic energy. Oh my god. A little bit from all worlds, huh? This attack does 80 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Dang! That person tailing me? Was it Rena just like yesterday? If it was Rena, I wouldn't hold back. I could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Rena. It would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps ambled closer. I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, and readjusted the grip on the bat. I could tell that the fear that I had beaten back once was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be? The artwork shows Kyogre in a graffiti-style spray paint background. Oh, that sounds awesome. I peeked out from behind the tree at the person following me. My imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Rena. It was a bit of a relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but that feeling left me in an instant. This wasn't the same Rena I knew. Her eyes were dark and lifeless. Her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yes, it looked like she was grinning slightly. And in her right hand was an axe. We're doomed! I hid myself behind a tree once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I just saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror laid bare. Practicing my swing. There were tons of excuses for me to carry a bat. But for that axe? There was no excuse for that. An axe. Just like that. We're dead? We are so dead. Keiichi. Keiichi-kun. Are you playing hide and seek? I wonder. I wonder. My heart was pounding. Hard enough that I had trouble breathing. What little composure I had been able. Fuck! Second was Al Creamy, B Max, Psychic type with 310 HP. Alright, let me try this paragraph again. What little composure I had been able to hold on to was now crushed. In this place, cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body, letting me know precisely what kind of emotion had taken hold. Not good, not good, not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew I was here. Were you trying to scare me, I wonder? I wonder. I decided that it would be better to reveal myself now, since there was still space between us, than allow Rena to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat again, readied myself mentally, and stepped out from behind the tree. I found you, Keiichi-kun. Rena was pleased that she had found me, eliciting a bit mysterious giggle. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me she was displeased by the fact that I had been hiding. Those eyes, they were just so empty. My legs began to quiver. Ugh, not good. In the pit of my stomach, some sort of vicious, hot and cold substance began spreading around. If I allowed it, that substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs in my body. Okay, let's see. Adornment was 1 basic energy. Create your bench Pokemon, Z. Search your deck for a psychic energy. Attach it to that Pokemon. G Max, Whisk does 60 damage with 2 psychic energy. Ooh, okay. Not good. Not good. I'll be devoured by Rena at this rate. Strike back. Don't lose. What is it? I blustered, hiding behind my bravado. But Rena didn't flinch one bit. Just the same as Keiichi-kun. I'm heading home. Then, what about that axe? Then, what about that bat you're holding? I'm practicing my swing. Then, I'm treasure hunting. Rena gave a flippant explanation as to why she had such a fearsome weapon. Yo, didn't she I can't remember too clearly, but didn't she use an axe to try and get to the Colonel Sanders, or am I remembering wrong? Let's see. The artwork show a rainbow full artwork of Gigantamax Alchemy. Nice. Treasure hunting. At the treasure mountain, near the dam site, I found a new cute thing. So, I needed this to dig it out. How could I believe that? You wouldn't believe it, would you? Am I doing good voice acting this? I'm gonna try and do better. If I'm not. Rena's laugh was obviously very strange. I'd seen Rena's transformation many times before, but this one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and the shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something that roundabout. I'm not sure what to say, but it was just so obvious. Wait, Keiichi-kun. didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Yeah, I could probably do better. That's the problem with being tone deaf. Not only can you not sing very well. Well, I can probably sing well, but like it's like a little difficulty singing. But like it's also a little bit of difficulty with keeping my tone of voice and stuff like this. Sword and Shield promo card. Deoxys V, Psychic type with 210 HP. Doing a good job voice acting. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Alright. Yeehaw! Whenever Rena got too close to me, I would scurry away and turn back towards her. This cycle repeated over and over. No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased right by Rena and was trying to escape. Don't follow me. I can't do that. My house is this way after all. Oh my god, I'm Joker. Nice. Gives me Joker vibes and chills there. Okay, I'll keep doing what I'm doing then. Psychic does 30 plus damage, both one psychic and basic energy. Okay, nice. When I met with Rena on this road yesterday, she cowered and trembled as she followed my commands. But today was different. Rena didn't show a hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? The tables have turned. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Oh dang. If the way home for Rena and me was the same, that's fine. I'd change my route. That'd work out, wouldn't it? I turned onto a side street I've never been down and knew little about. But Rena saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Why? Why? Aren't you going home? Then just go home down the street you normally do. Why would you follow me down this weird little side road? Power Edge does basic 140 damage, 2 psychic, 1 basic energy. Nice. Alright, I might have to lock in for a minute, so I might not read everything you say. Chat says out loud. Auric shows a full art of Deoxys in outer space. Ooh, sweet. Those thoughts screamed in my head, eventually spilling out from my mouth. Why are you following me? The tone of your voice was already tinged with terror. Because I want to talk to Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-kun wants to talk to Rena too, doesn't he? Doesn't he? I don't want to talk about anything with you. That's a lie, isn't it? There's something you want to ask me about, isn't there? Not at all. I have nothing to talk to you about. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie. Lies! Oh, fuck. Rena's scream echoed, startling some nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only other thing I could do was increase my pace. Let's talk, Keiichi-kun. Talk. Talk. Why was I running down this unfamiliar and deserted street? Doesn't Keiichi-kun have something he's worried about? Nothing at all. I'm not worried about anything. Lies! Even though I was running, even though Rena was walking, Why wasn't I getting any farther away? I know. I really do know. You're scared, aren't you, Keiichi-kun? I'm not scared. I'm not scared of any lies. I gotta be careful not to get too loud because I don't want to get yelled at. Next is the last one for tonight. 2002 Japan exclusive McDonald's promo set. Oh, sweet. Ren is going psycho mode. She is. And she is locked on target. Okay, let me take a breath real quick. My breathing grew heavy, and it felt like my legs were giving out from beneath me. Brenna wasn't even breaking a sweat. I'll listen. This time I'll listen. I had no idea what she was talking about, or what exactly she wanted to do. This time I'll listen. It will be different from the time with Satoshi-kun. She said Satoshi's name. I turned back for a moment. But even as I did that, Rena was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop. Satoshi-kun was worried too. It looked like he was having such a hard time. But I didn't listen. I was so sad. Where did the street connect to? All these twists and turns, ups and downs. It's hard to believe that this was even remotely in the direction towards my house. My sense of direction had long since gone out of the window. I really regretted it when Satoshi-kun transferred out. I thought that if I had listened, he may not have transferred out. I really regretted that. The road led deeper into the forest. Was I getting farther away from the village the more I ran? I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. But despite this realization, my inner self was still disturbingly calm. So you see, I vowed that if there was someone struggling like Satoshi-kun, I'd save them. I don't want to see anyone transfer out again. Damn it. What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me. Ooh, gotta take a breath for a second. Let's see. Chikorita, grass type with 50 HP. Rollout does basic 10 damage with 1 basic energy. Double headbutt does 20 times damage with 1 grass and basic energy. Nice. Oh, Chikorita is very cute. I won't end up the same as Satoshi. Come on, Keiichi-kun. Talk to me. I'll be able to understand you, Keiichi-kun. I'm your ally. I started wheezing out of breath. My lungs were so hot that they felt like they were going to explode. My heart was beating as hard as it possibly could. I should have practiced running instead of my swing. Swing. Sorry. I couldn't even afford to scoff at that stupid thought. If Keiichi-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, he'll go back to normal. Everyone will be back to being friends and we can enjoy club activities again. Next time, we'll team up and beat Mii-chan. Yeah, how much fun would that be? How much fun that would be. Rena couldn't even imagine how much I had wished I could turn back the clock on these past few days. You can be nice to me again too. I want to go searching for treasure again. This time, I'll prepare a nice lunch. Actually, we could just go right now. Let's go up to the dam site together. I'll show you the cute thing I just found. I'm sure you'll like it too. My footsteps made pathetic flapping sounds and my legs wobbled and faltered. On my heels, Rena's steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. I was on the run, being chased by Rena. She caught me. It was all over. I realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what the end would entail. Just as if I was caught, it was all over. That's all I knew. The artwork show in hieroglyphic like art of Chikorita walking to the right. Aww. Oh, so kind of like with Mew in the Pokemon movie. That's cute. It didn't matter how it was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet. That momentary lapse was all it took. Of all the things that could have happened, my knees buckled underneath me, and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand, frantically urging my legs to respond. I used my bat as a makeshift cane to prop myself up, but Rena was already standing right in front of me. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Rena was so cool and composed that she could have froze the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all. Rather, I couldn't even sense if her own heart was beating. Are you afraid of something, I wonder? It's not like you to trip, Keiichi-kun. Her expression almost looked affectionate. Those soulless eyes, that mask of affection. As she admonished me for trembling, Rena's hands deftly slipped over her head. The blur of arms as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at the godliness of the thousand-armed Buddha. Then as both of her hands met above her head, the axe she held came into focus. I stared up at it in disbelief. It was all I could do. Tell me, what happened to Satoshi? Rena stayed like that, with the axe raised above her head, and solemnly opened her mouth. It was as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend she was never to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions. I told you. Satoshi-kun transferred out. Enough of that transfer crap. It means demon away, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can tell me now, can't you? Who made Satoshi disappear? Was it you? Mion? Or someone in the village? Answer me! I became frantic. The more I screamed, but Rena did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face. I have no idea what Keiichi-kun is talking about. Then I'll say it in a way so you do. Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mystery deaths? You seem to be confused, Keiichi-kun. There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Oyashiro-sama's will. Isn't Oyashiro-sama's curse just superstition? You believe in that too? It's not about believing or not. Oyashiro-sama exists. Period. Rena's... Ooh, this hurts my eyes. I definitely feel that emote flash. Okay. Rena's gaze grew more and more galled. The ferocity of her stare was so intense, not allowing me to question anything. There's just no way that something like Oyashiro-sama could exist. You don't believe in Oyashiro-sama? There's no way I could believe it. There's no way it could exist. Yeah, the virtual boy filter is hurting my eyes. You know, while it's on my mind, I gotta come out and say this. It's a gripe that I had for a while. I haven't played it myself, but I've seen other people play Luigi's Mansion 3. Of all the defunct... No, wait, defunct. Outdated. Of all the outdated consoles Nintendo could have used to communicate with EGAD, they went with the Virtual Boy. That hurts people's eyes. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but like... Yeah. Terminator vision. It exists. Oyashiro-sama exists. Keiichi-kun should have felt it personally. I never felt something like that. Keiichi-kun, haven't you felt someone apologizing to you before? Constantly, on top of that? All the noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Rena's voice resounded loudly and terribly. True? Mm-hmm. You see? Until you forgive them, they'll always be with you. At school, at home, at your bedside. Couldn't understand what Rena was saying. It came to me too. Oyashiro-sama did. That's why I transferred and came back to Hinamizawa. I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Rena saying? Hasn't Oyashiro-sama come to you as well, Keiichi-kun? I'm probably the only one you can confide in. I won't let you transfer out, okay? Rena's demented laughter clanged around inside my head. Was Rena saying Oyashiro-sama came to her as well? That's right. Last night, I heard about that when I asked about Rena. Oh boy, flashback. Please. What voice did I use for him? Please keep this confidential. Like that? Also, part of this may be speculation. Yo, I gotta work on my guy voice. This is terrible. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested? Oishi-san began speaking. Neither the victims nor the school filed a complaint, so there's no preliminary report. Basically, the police hadn't intervened in this matter. No, all of these details are just what I heard from those involved. Meaning, it's not that credible. You said there were victims. Didn't Rena just break onto windows? No. Rena and Ryugu had attacked 3 boys, using a metal bat. 2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other had been injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged. Woo, ran out of breath there. Wouldn't that be considered assault? Shouldn't the police have arrested her? For whatever reason, the victim never pressed charges. There was no report to the police, so they were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally there would be a criminal investigation. But why didn't they press charges? I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they were all reluctant. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid. Even after she had transferred schools. Oishi-san, could you summarize it, starting from the beginning? Rena hit people while she broke the windows? Or was it she started breaking the windows after she got bored of hitting people? They sounded familiar, but the meanings were drastically different. Familiar. Similar. There goes my drink. I might have to leave in a second to get some more water and some more coffee. On a non-disclosed day, Rena Ryugu was conversing with 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed. Who were those 3? I can't reveal their names, but they were close to Rena Ryugu, and it seemed they were a group of friends. She was the lone girl in their group, so it wasn't that strange that the 4 of them were together. So, what happened? I don't know the reason why. She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat the 3 of them down, one after the other. What? There were no witnesses. This was an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident. One day after school, Rena and the 3 male students were at the pool storage shed, talking together. They weren't seeking help. Rather, they usually met up there. It appears to be Avarice, hello! Welcome to the stream, everybody! Thank you for joining in! Welcome in, everybody! I'm gonna head out. Okay, Carrie, and I'll talk to you later. We'll talk about the story stuff tomorrow. At that time. Oh wait, I don't have to use the voice for him, right? Because it's just a summarization. Whoops, welcome in, Raiders. How's everybody doing? The change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Well, things about to go down, so there's about to be some crazy stuff happening. Y'all came in at a very interesting time. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends, one after the other. Ooh! Leaving her friends covered in blood, gashes on their head. She made her way towards the school building. Then she broke the glass windows, one after another. Just got done with a little honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3. Ooh, nice. Oh man, I should get back into it. I'm still on the first chapter. Welcome in, everybody. A few minutes later, a teacher appeared on the scene and subdued her. What was this change Reno underwent? What matches up with the statements from the three was a sudden change. The point that there was a transformation. Transformation? I also could recall Rena's transformation. I'd seen that change many times before. It was different from the usual Rena that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else that looked like her. I may need to go to bed. I wanted to spread a well, thanks for hopping in. Thanks for rating us. It's good to have everybody in. Good to have y'all in. That transformation they're talking about, had it happened before? No, there was nothing like that. As far as I could find out, in her medical history and past, there was nothing like that. Does that happen often? Where people change suddenly, like Rena did? Of course it does. There are plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that. And you're saying there was a dormant element in Rena that caused this transformation? I cannot say that for certain, but according to the statements of her friends, it's hard to believe she had such a side to her. Kind and caring and adorable. Even before she transferred here, she was probably pretty popular in school, like she was now. That girl, transforming and suddenly assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I myself sometimes believe that I was mistaken for thinking that was Rena, even now. Then, what happened after that? There was a hospital right across from the school, so the three of them were carried in and treated quickly. What about Rena? What about the police? Why wasn't there a criminal investigation? You see, the police can't get involved unless they are called. No one was badly injured with permanent damage? Why didn't they file charges? That's what caught my attention as well. Either some threat or pressure was placed on them. Or they had a reason they couldn't file charges, even if they wanted to. We're talking about you. After all, of course you looked into it, didn't you? Well, yeah. But I told you at the beginning, didn't I? That the victims were all very reluctant to talk. They didn't want to touch the matter. Or rather, they didn't want to be involved. Reluctant to talk. Didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to be involved. It resembled the villagers here and Oyashiro-sama's curse. Did the teacher at that school tell you anything? A school is hallowed ground. Hallowed ground. You could say they tend to keep scandals under wraps. I didn't have a search warrant, so I had to tread lightly, you see. Then, There was no comment from the school. No. They denied the incident even happened. It's just 3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day. That's all there was in the hospital records. The victims didn't speak. The school denied it happened. And you don't know anything at all. Yeah. I know nothing other than the incident itself had taken place. The victim... Oh, god damn it. Hang on. I accidentally pressed the button. The victims also wished for this incident to be kept from the public. So, if you and I both forget about it, my bear-san, then this incident will probably be just fade away. For a brief period, we sat in silence. That voice I'm doing for Oishi is kind of grating on me. Like, it's kind of hurting a little bit. At first glance, it looked like a simple assault case. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The depths were obscured by rolling waves, sinking in quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with. After that, she was suspended by the school. And during that time, she underwent psychiatric counseling. Did you hear anything from that doctor? Again, they were very professional in regards to their ethics. Or at least, very tight-lipped. Nothing even after you showed them your badge? I was told to get a warrant. Badge itself has no legal binding authority after all. Then, how did you know Rena confessed that it was Oyashiro-sama who did it? There was a nurse I asked in that department. She agreed to help me just from showing her my badge. Then, what did she say? Turns out that nurse hadn't heard everything. Apparently, all she remembered was what she overheard from inside that room. The nurse said at the time, Brenna Ryuga was very calm and mild-mannered. It was more like she was confessing her sins at church than a counseling session. She spoke with her mother there for some of it. But partway through, her mother was asked to leave, so it became a private counseling session between just the doctor and Rena for a while. I ran out of breath there, I'm sorry about that. The part with Oyashiro-sama, when did that pop up? Partway through. She screamed a name suddenly. That startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in. It was Oyashiro-sama. Rena suddenly shouted that. I had no idea what was said before that, so I had no idea what was the meaning behind it. What the meaning behind it could have been. The doctor calmly and collectedly asked Rena to have a seat. What is this Oyashiro-sama you speak of? Gently, ever so gently. The fundamentals of the counseling were believing what you were told. Whoever abandons Hinamizawa will be hunted down by Oyashiro-sama. And they've finally gotten to me. That's the town you lived in before you moved here. Isn't that right, Ryugi-san? I didn't want to move. But because of my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to. But Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow it. Ryugi-san must have had lots of friends in Hinamizawa. Even now you must be missing them dearly, don't you think? I want to go back. Back to Hinamizawa. No, it's not that I want to go back. I have to go back. I should have come back much sooner. But now it's too late. Oyashiro-sama has come. Oyashiro-sama is the name of the god in Himizawa, isn't that right? Everyone knows. It's Himizawa's guardian deity. And if you ever try abandoning Himizawa by leaving, you'll incur his wrath. You had moved quite a while ago, didn't you? Then it was just now that this god has arrived. Is that what you're saying? You might not believe me, but Yashiro-sama exists. The nurse was then asked by another nurse to do something and left the room. That was all she remembered. That it was Oyashiro-sama's doing, right? I do believe there is that kind of superstition in Himizawa. That if you leave this village, then you'll incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. You should be familiar with this part, my Baro-san. I know very well that those scorned by the village incurred. By what those scorned by the village incurred. To hinder the damn construction site project. They cursed the construction foreman to his death. Trippy? Very. Then the following year, Satoko's parents, supporters, and leading advocates for the dam were cursed to their death. But this was the first time I've heard of the curse incurred by leaving the village. This is my first time hearing that. I can understand outside threats being cursed by the village, but why also villagers who leave? Normally people who leave the village aren't supposed to be cursed, right? I know it's a bit strange to say, but I couldn't see it as a rule that people come in as the ones who would be cursed. Far from Jupiter, far from his thunder. Curses weren't something to chase people after people that leave, were they? Oyashiro-sama's really possessive. He wants all his ducks in a row. Why did I say that? You know, this kind of makes me think back to the Grudge. In the movie, the curse of the house just followed the woman everywhere she went. Until it finally got to her. Sorry. Hi, Coco. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Oishi-san pondered for a bit on the other end of the receiver, then began speaking again. Well, I told you long ago when Himizawa was called Onigafuchi, right? Didn't I? Fair, or drag me to hell. I recalled hearing that. Long ago, Himizawa was feared and respected as a village of ogres. The villagers at the foot of the mountain worshipped the ogres. So, Onigafuchi was hallowed ground that you could never enter. It came to be said that if you entered carelessly, you were cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Those who set foot in Onigafuchi, in other words Himizawa, would be cursed. Oh, I didn't need to do the voice there. Damn it. I could understand that. I know that. But for leaving to also be no good, that's also the ogres, you see. They were being strictly watched by Oyashiro-sama, so they would not enter into our world. In other words, Oyashiro-sama probably restricted the interaction between Onigafuchi and the rest of the world. I see. I finally understood what sort of thing Oyashiro-sama was. So basically, Oyashiro-sama is more like a warden than a protective deity, I guess. Trying to keep this place isolated from the rest of the world. I guess that's how it would seem. I'm sorry, I don't know very much myself. This is mostly what was passed on to me from my grandmother. I could understand it a bit better if it was like that. Those who came to Himizawa would be cursed, and those who tried to leave would also be cursed. Also, this is still a flashback. So because Rena originally lived in Himizawa and moved away, she fulfilled the requirements for being cursed. What? Oh my goodness. So that means because Rena moved away against its wishes, she was cursed by Oyashiro-sama? Is that what it adds up to? In short, it seems to be what it points to, I guess. As a matter of fact, soon afterwards they did move back to Himizawa after all. Those who abandoned Himizawa and left were cursed. Then, why only Rena? Shouldn't Rena's parents have also been guilty of the same transgression by moving away and have been cursed? Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them is cursed, then it'd be insane. Okay, I gotta go take my dog outside. I'll be right back. should have put on a jacket. It is cold out there. Woo! I did get some more coffee while I was out, though. Alright. See. But in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and one disappearing on the day of the Wanton Nakashi. I don't like saying at most, though. Well, anyways, there's lots I still don't know. Even if it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, it doesn't add up as to why her classmates, the victims who were beaten with a metal bat, wouldn't press charges. You don't think the victims were cowering because they believed that terrible curse had befallen them, do you? Oh, wait. That was Keiichi talking. Damn it, I'm putting unnecessary strain on my voice. That's not gonna be good. Welcome back, thank you. Or maybe it was Oishi, I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. Of course I didn't want to believe it. But more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Rena made between Oyashiro-sama's curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse and went missing. I had recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with the metal bat right before he disappeared. Just like me. Then Rena as well. She was affected by Yashiro-sama's curse. She confessed that much to the doctor. And the weapon in which she had used at the time of that horrendous act was again a metal bat. And finally me. I'd encountered various things that were inexplicable. And now, I was holding onto a metal bat. Oh my god, the power of threes. That's not a good sign. I was shocked that when I learned that Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Had the same thing happened to Rena? But there was one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse, but Rena was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse, yet they were met with different endings. Finally, me. I couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Rena, Satoshi, and finally, me. Excuse me. Could it be that I really was under Yashiro-sama's curse right now? No. More importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Rena was fine. Fine? Rena had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Rena residing within her. It's something that is something else that's wearing Rena's skin. Maybe. And here right now, it was standing before me. Yeah, that went on for a very long time. I forgot that this was happening. Rena, please tell me. What will happen to me? Rena stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared. Oh, Satoshi disappeared. But Rena didn't disappear. So, what will happen to me? I'd never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling. Don't worry. I'll save you. Rena took one step forward, still holding the axe high above her head. Now then. One step closer. Rena's face spread out to fill my vision. Speak. One step closer. Rena's nose was close enough to touch mine, and was still pushing closer. There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you. Okay? Speak. Okay? Speak. Okay? I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get as far away from Rena. I had this gut feeling that I couldn't let her laughter end. Because when that laughing ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved on instinct. I sprang to my feet. Oh yeah, not yet, I'm too young. Okay, just needed a moment to collect myself. I sprang to my feet, so fast even I couldn't believe it, and pushing Rena away with both hands. Rena was light as a feather, thrown about by an unbalanced weight of the axe. She was sent backwards, as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed at full speed. It was the perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from Rena. Run away. Survive. I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I'd been holding on to a bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. I couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even farther down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or my legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I could hear the laughter of that simulacrum of Rena coming from behind me. It rang through the trees and in my head, and slowly chiseled away at my sanity. Woo, I gotta take a breath there. The grove of trees thinned out, my field of vision suddenly expanding. Where was this? For a moment, I was bewildered by the scenery. I felt I knew, but couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was the dam site. That was wild stuff. Absolutely. The fact that I dashed away madly, ended up in a place like this, gave me a bad feeling. Like I was following someone's scripted plot. I had a good view of my surroundings, but I didn't see a single soul here. This was a terrible spot for someone on the run. But there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles in my legs were screaming. But I didn't care. If I stopped here, then they might not be able to scream for much longer. Even if I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest, Rena wasn't there. Even still, damn it. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Rena, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around here weren't suspicious enough of themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, they definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose was enough to raise questions. More than anything, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was I at the end of my rope and had finally started imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they weren't involved, then I'd lose them easily by running. If they were part of the group after me, then they would come running after me. Either way, unless they hurried up, Rena would catch up with me. That's right. I was going to run. Deciding that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me, as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Somewhere inside me, I had jumped to the conclusion that Rena was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need to fear anything else. But right now, I just realized how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly, the story Oishi-san told me about the demons all leaving the village to hunt prey floated through the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without even turning around because of their frantic footsteps. It was frightening, being unable to shake Rena off, and she slowly closed in on me. But this didn't even compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity, this straightforward horror was unparalleled. One of the pursuer's arms grazed my shoulder. Now it wasn't just their frantic footsteps, but also the distinct sound of their breathing that I could hear. No, I could practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Still running, at full tilt, I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it was like time itself had stopped. I turned my head back, slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult. In less than the time it would take me to blink twice, when this frozen time began moving again, they'd be right on top of me. On top of me. And then... Excuse me. Don't think about that, Keiichi. First realize that you won't be able to shake them... First realize you won't be able to shake them off like this. The fact that you can't get away was a given. Then you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg, with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. And when you decide that, the temporal singularity bursts into pieces. Right. Left. I swung the bat in a wide arc with my arm, using a certain inertia. I stopped and suddenly spun. What? The two of them were clearly startled. Momentarily losing sight of me, both of their outstretched arms ready to grab me instead grasped at empty space. The man on the right, upon being able to figure out, spun around to the spot I shouldn't have been. spun around the spot I shouldn't have been, and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late. I didn't even need to swing my bat. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seemed like it had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down wasn't enough to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance and were ready to face me. This made me certain they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Rena. Just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them, it made things easier. Smiled brightly on the inside. What do you want with me? Next one is going to be right in your face, you bastard. It's fine if it's just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to either side of me, with unbelievably calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat, and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Excuse me. Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Then I just have to settle with the first move. I step in and strike the first one down, narrowing my target down to the man on the right, who had already been knocked down before. I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would cause immense damage. If they blocked it with their arm, their bone would snap like a twig. If they turned their back to it, then it was possible the blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther through the kill zone between us and delivered a fist into my gut. Not good. With this distance, in this position, and in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. The road flipped upside down. I understood that I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed on the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil press against my face. It didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I slowly felt pain from the abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents of my stomach being forced upwards, filling my mouth with a bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have time to relish in this experience. I stood up as quickly as I could, but at that moment, the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After plowing into my stomach full force once again, my assailant twisted around and locked his thick armor on my neck. My throat felt like it was being crushed by his immense weight. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled, or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened with a silent whining noise and a silent whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake his arm off me, I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straits. I couldn't even come up with a phrase that adequately described my situation. Chat, we are cooked. Then they whispered, "We are sure someone to get ya." set to get you. Hayashiro-sama sends his regards. Oh, hey, we're not dead. Oh, I'm so close to finishing this chapter. I can feel it. There's still a bit left to go, but we are really close to finishing this. A familiar ceiling. The smell of the bed and pillows. I knew them well. Was this my room? Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. Yay! When I did that, pain shot through my entire body. Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit. Why was Rena in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscles and my caterpillars. No, wait, capillaries. God damn it. But Rena's smile belonged to the Rena I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed, thinking this version of Rena was safe. Why? Don't you remember? After losing consciousness? Nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could have ever imagined. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind. I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you better just lie down until then. I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Why am I here? I'm sure I was at the damn site. That's what I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out. That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. They gave us some... Recalling that memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Rena to be nursing me. I thought Rena was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Rena's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only gotten me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help? Don't you remember, Keiichi-kun? Rena appeared a bit surprised, but kept her smile. I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember? I didn't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness. What about those two? Huh? When you got here, Rena, the ones with me, or rather those two guys, there wasn't anyone. She said it bluntly. The way she stated it felt slightly unpleasant. I was just too timid at the time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Rena. But if I did that, then this kind of Rena might transform into the scary Rena I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Rena would even have stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Rena was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, it felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something. Something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. That small omen sent shivers down my spine. Where Rena was still Rena, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Oishi-san. Rena stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though. Sorry. Rena couldn't say anything else. While Rena stayed in my room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. It must have been the doctor Rena called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making the house call, but it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable amount of time it would take Oishi-san to get here. Ooh, I didn't take a breath. Whew, okay. I carelessly opened the door with that simple assumption. I regretted it almost instantly. Mion? Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapsed, so I came to check up on you. How did you know I collapsed? I heard it from Rena, over the phone. Do I need any reason other than that? I understood why she would call a doctor, but why Mion too? Rena was descending the stairs behind me. Forgot to mention I had 3 hot dogs for dinner with Doritos twisted queso. Yum. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. Rena, doesn't K-Chain look pretty alright? Sheesh, you make me worry for nothing. That's true. Maybe I worried for nothing as well. They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was darkness looming over them. Whoa, what's up with this shoe rack? How did it get like this? The shoe rack I'd smashed to pieces have been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see. The bat I was homing at the time slammed into it. This is what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling. I kept the fact that it was none of their business to myself. But leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later. Now come on, Kei-chan. The terminally ill need their rest. Come on, back to bed, back to bed. Both of them urged me up the stairs. Hi, Nochi! Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? How are you doing, Nochi? I had no chance to call Oishi-san. I was pushed into my bed. As if it was the first time Mion had been in my room. She began searching around it intently. She piddled around my room and was scolded by Rena. I can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. Welcome in, Raiders! During that instant conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary. Rena, did you call the manager? Yep. Right after I called Michan. He said he'd be right over. Manager? That out-of-place word gave me a bad feeling. Rena called a doctor. Then called Mion. And after that, she called a manager? Who was this manager? Since Rena and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, it felt slightly odd. What are you two talking about? Who's this manager? Oh, shit's about to go down again. It ain't over yet. I remember this part. Didn't you know, Kei-chan? We mean the manager when we say manager. Like the director of a movie. Or like the foreman of a construction site. Creepy laughter. I dug through all my memories for a manager who might have business with me. Only one thing came to mind. What Rena just said. Construction site foreman. Very first victim of the incident. Of the dismemberment at the... Damn it. Oh man, come on, I'm so close to the end. I can't start messing up now. Demon manager! Oh, I gotta stop being so loud too. People are sleeping. The very first victim of the very first victim of the first incident. The dismemberment at the damn construction site. The foreman? But that was strange. Also, welcome in everybody. How's everybody doing? He was supposed to be dead. There was no way they could call him. Unless they're calling they're calling the guy who was the lead in the dismemberment case. The guy who disappeared. Ooh, sneaky. This is all just speculation, of course. I have no idea. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. What does the manager have to do with me? Said he was coming. Did you mean to my house? Asked one obvious question after another. But all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Reaper Raid! Woo! They could if they got a Ouija board. Every time someone mentions a Ouija board, I think back to what my mother said to me one time was like, we're not messing with any Ouija board. Some crazy shit happened. Somewhat along those lines. I'm paraphrasing here. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Rena and Mion were talking about. I'll BRB? Okay, Nochi. All good. Kei-chan, you've gotten into baseball lately, haven't you? Pretty sure the manager will be happy to hear that. So, who is this manager? The manager is the manager. So, who is this manager? Rena and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily. That disturbing cackle unpleasantly resounded around me. I gotta be careful not to be too loud with this as well. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly. Oh yeah, we should finish up before the manager comes. You remember, don't you, Kei-chan? Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story. Remember? Remember what? Keiichi-kun had forgotten. Keiichi-kun, had he forgotten, I wonder? About the penalty? About the penalty? Did you really forget? The homework with the mochi? The homework where you're supposed to guess which one Rena made? You forgot about that homework, didn't you? I certainly did have that homework. But I had thrown away the rest of the mochi after I found the sewing needle. So, I wasn't able to answer which one Rena made. The penalty for that? Why now? No doubt my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was that dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think that this entire day was somehow insane. Strange. Incomprehensible. Being chased by Rena? Attacked by strange men? The penalty Mion and Rena were talking about? What? What are these two laughing at? It didn't take that long for me to realize I had been dragged into an abnormal situation. Who were these two? Who were these people? Who were these doppelgangers of Rena and Mion? Who are you people? Oh shit, I'm being too loud. Rena had gotten behind me at some point. Why was she pinning my arms behind my back? What are you doing? Don't move. This is your penalty. My body was already very sluggish, and Rena pinning my arms made it much more harder to move. I seriously tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. This freakishly monstrous strength, it would have been impossible for the Rena I knew. Then, these thin, frail arms grasped me firmly. Whose arms were they? Kei-chan, no struggling. Club rules. There are no exceptions. You can't fight against the penalty. Mion. No, that thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me. But I was certain that this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion. Need to finish this up before the manager comes. Mian fished into her pockets and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell what it is just by looking, but for such a thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it. What is that? It was a small syringe. It was small. It was a small, clear syringe, like what a doctor would use when you went to him when you were sick. Rena held me even tighter, and I could hear that clattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter. It wasn't something that the Rena I knew could ever produce from her own throat. This thing that was pretending to be Rena, was this their real laugh? Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mian was holding drew closer. That needle tip waved in front of my face countless times. Don't worry, don't worry. Won't hurt. It won't hurt. What are you planning on doing? What kind of sick joke is this? What are you saying, Kei-chan? You know exactly what's going on, don't you? Oh, what? I don't understand any of this at all. I know, you know. No use playing the fool this late in the game. Stop talking nonsense and trying to try to confuse me. You're going to have done to you what happened to Tomitake-san. What? The same as Tomitake-san? I didn't really understand what she meant. What did that have to do with the syringe? You're playing dumb, Kate. You're playing dumb, Kei-chan. You should have realized it by now. Rena whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even the way she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean? The same as Tomitake-san. Everyone thought at first that it was a hit and run, except when the officer got closer to check if he was still alive. He noticed that it wasn't a normal situation. I know I should use the voice I was using for Oishi-san, but yeah, that's gonna put like more strain on my voice, so I'm gonna try to do that less. His throat was scratched out. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? Nails as in fingernails? With those gouged through? That's right. Tomitake-san had clawed out his own throat with his own nails and died. There's no way someone could die like that. So then, for that to happen, we thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. That's right. The police didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's system. Yikes. The police told me they didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's body. Two of them laughed together with that sickening laughter. Of course they'd laughed. To assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know about it was completely foolish. Meaning, the drug that caused Tomitaki-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist? If Mion injected this into me, then that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I'd end up the same as Tomitaki-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my throat in the last moments, then die. For such a horrendous drug to exist. For Mion to be holding it. And that I was about to be injected with it. That moment, I did not feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. What kind of idiot, when he's trying to dodge a ball flying straight for his face, has time to think of a reason as to why it's flying at him? Just give up. Alright then. Mion's actions lacked any gravitas that had made it even more terrifying. There was none of the ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. There was no hesitation at all, as if she were brushing her teeth. Mion reached out with one hand and grabbed onto my chest. It felt like electricity had run through the back of my head, and the entire world had gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Or did someone hit me really hard in the back of the head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness. This is about to get pretty gory, so everybody take care and... Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's still going. But yeah, if anybody needs to click off before anything happens, go ahead. No shame in that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I squatted down for a bit. When I came back to my senses, my entire room had changed drastically. The numbness in my head was gone, and slowly, I could tell the blood was flowing into my extremities again. How long had I been squatting here? How many minutes? Or has it been hours? It was almost as if the hands on the clock stopped moving the entire time my eyes were closed. And that's how little time passed. Really? The air in the room wasn't filled with that madness from before. Only a dull silence. Rena wasn't there pinning my arms, and Mian wasn't there about to inject me with a needle. No way. Could it be? All of it was a hallucination? There was no other presence in the room besides my own. It was the weirdest experience I'd ever had. I was certainly with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but I was also seized with some sort of comfort. I guess that terrible ordeal was a hallucination. Neither Rena nor Mion. They would never do something so terrible. My head grew hot. I could tell my emotions were welling up. Why? That wasn't a reason to cry. Why? It was sorrow. Why was I sad? I don't understand. Kind to everyone. Not discriminating against age or gender. Mion. That Mion was sprawled out by the window in an unnatural pose. Blood stained her deep split. God damn it, it is really late. I'm beginning to stumble over my words. Blood stained her a deep red from her head down to her chest. The bright crimson smeared on the walls. That splatter had undoubtedly come from Mion. She always had that bright smile, and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Rena. That same Rena was slumped at my feet and was making the same pool of blood as Mion. I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone come to save me? Then did they beat these two down with this metal bat? I finally noticed the weight in my right hand. How long had it been there? It was Satoshi's metal bat. It was covered in a deep red. There was no doubt that this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. Looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it. I did this? That's right. Keiichi Maibara. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There's no reason for you to remember it, nor is there a need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you? But the blood. There's so much. Neither Rena nor Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead and a trickle of blood. Nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red. That told me it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes. Were they dead? Both of them. The depths of my mind were calm, but on the surface, I was panicking and agitated. Excuse me. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. What happened to your usual calm self? Come on now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back and take a deep breath. Come on. Once, twice. Breathe deeply. Calm down. Calm down. I chanted that over and over in my head and relaxed. Color came back to my vision, and the smells reinfused the air. At the same time, I remembered what happened when I blacked out. Rena and Mion had attacked me. They were about to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tomitake-san. Right before that happened, I fought back. I twisted my whole body and threw Rena as she was pinning my arms. Then I followed through with my spin and ran my foot so hard, as hard as I could into Mion's torso. was soft. Brenna tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I could and slammed her against the wall. I didn't let that brief moment of having them off balance slip by. Satoshi's bat was left carelessly by the side of my desk. At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point in the videotape in my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't that there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside myself told me not to look and turned off the TV. Just because the screen had gone black, I couldn't see it. And I couldn't see it didn't mean that the videotape within me hadn't recorded it. The TV was just off, but the video was still playing. The tape within me, creaking along, still playing. On the other end of that pitch black screen, that horrifying video was still playing. Compared to this though, the scene right before my eyes was so difficult to take in. There was blood splattered everywhere on the walls. The two of them in these unnatural poses. Not a sign of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what the circumstances were. My friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them. But if I hadn't done this, I would have been the one done for. Balancing that out on an imaginary scale, it felt odd that I'd even feel bad about it. Even if it was a bit excessive, this was justifiable self-defense. The proof was all here. The two of them collapsed here, and Mion's syringe filled with some unknown drug would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tomitake-san. From that fact, that both of these two were involved, they'd be able to pick out the criminals one after the other. Still, I might be suspected for this, but that was just fine. Anyway, there should be a police affair. Now there should be a police affair. This shouldn't fade into the darkness like Rena's past incidents. As long as the police were involved, that should bring this to a close. Daytime soap opera level drama? Yep. I'll probably revisit their investigation on the chain of incidents. Oishi-san would definitely get to the bottom of it. Meaning, my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know truth, that would be fulfilled in its most basic form. It was all a matter of time now. The doctor Rena called should be getting here soon. I'll confess everything to him. I need to contact Oishi-san. That moment I remembered. Besides the doctor, a manager had been called. It's easy to imagine that they were someone deeply involved with the incidents, judging from Rena and Mion's conversation. The ache in my chest caused by the gruesome deed I'd done dissipated rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Keiichi Maebara. It's not over yet. I need to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean there is more than one person. I moved the curtain ever so slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 grown men were all gathered at the gate. They very much resembled the 2 men who had assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might even be among them. There was one person wearing a white coat, but he didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. That guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door. Pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and then the rest of them would all rush in at once. The moment I saw the car parked behind the men, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van. No mistaking it. That van, the one that tried to run me down. The man in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid in the bushes and watched him. I probably couldn't pretend that I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they'd just break the window and enter. I needed to get out of here somehow. Then use the public phone to contact Oishi-san. Then meet up somewhere. First of all, I need a weapon. Then shoes. But before that, there was one thing that I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I'd live and reveal the truth about this nonsensical curse of Oyasho-sama. But that would happen from here on. What would happen from here on, regardless of how determined I was, may bring about my demise. And that was why. There was one thing more important than getting out of here right now. I needed to get that clock out quickly, take it down, take down the note hidden behind it. Damn it! Tape was sticking to it fast. It'd be fine if it was torn a little. I opened up the slightly torn note and began writing another passage with a ballpoint pen. If I wasn't able to inform Oishi-san, then the only thing I could rely on was this note. Never thought a piece of torn, college-ruled notebook paper could be this reliable before. I had no time. Only write what I knew right now. I need to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Rena and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still didn't want to believe it, but it was a fact. Anyway, I'd leave all the information that would help lead them to finding the perpetrators. There are 4, 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. Maybe more. Also, there was that unidentified person known as the manager. Beginning with the term manager didn't even mesh well with Himizawa at all. If they were going to include the managers from the past incident, then the only one is the construction foreman, the victim from the first murder. The very first victim in the chain of incidents. Killed in a lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces. His right arm was never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death. But Rena and Mion did both call him manager. They said manager. They wouldn't use that term to refer to someone who was dead. Police would never even conceive that someone who was deceased could be involved. Could that be some sort of oversight? I didn't know. But even if I didn't know, it could be a big hint for Oishi-san. That's right. They needed to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment. But the start of the string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then, there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim from the dismemberment incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Logically, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh yeah, there's something even more important I need to write. Tomitake-san's death was from an unknown drug. That's right, that drug. It was an irreplaceable piece of evidence. No doubt just by having this, everything would be uncovered. I couldn't just leave the vital clue lying on the floor. This syringe is proof. Writing that down, I stuck the syringe onto the back of the clock with plenty of tape, so it absolutely would not slip out and fall to the floor. Firmly grasp it. Sorry about that. Oh, fuck, we're out of time. The bell rang. They were here. I couldn't write anymore. But even still, it was one last thing that I had to write. I have no idea why it became like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note. If you're reading this, then I am probably dead. Now you may not find my body. If I was going to write out everything that could happen, either dying from the curse or being demoned away. You who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With this, my last will and testament was complete. It wasn't certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea, just in case. I folded the note, stuck it back onto the back of the clock, and returned the clock back to its usual spot. Is there a heathen? I mean, Keiji Maibara here? I couldn't help but pray. Oishi-san, something happens to me. I leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed silently down silently at Rena and Mion. This was probably the last time we'd ever see each other. Rena, Mion, I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun at my previous school. I only worried about standardized test scores. About if the school I hoped to get in was where I really wanted to go, or a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. These people I called friends were also my rivals in studying. The people I had called friends were also my rivals in studying, in competitions, in personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month really was fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping down my face. Uncontrollable tears. I should have had no obligation to shed tears for them. But they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life. Even if they were trying to kill me. Everything that happened with this month, I wouldn't forget it. Or could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it all a trap? Meticulously orchestrated up until today to ensnare me? Could it have been that I had arbitrarily assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Rena and Mion, they really were my friends. Those happy days, there was nothing fake or unclear about them. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Oyashiro-sama. Regardless, both Ren and Mion, they were the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. Wait, they weren't the kind of people who'd sell off their friends, regardless of whether or not they were forced. There was no way such a thing like possessed by Oyashiro-sama could happen in reality. Then, did the real Rena and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. Having beaten down both Rena and Mion, I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake, only the reality that was before me. Rena and Mion sprawled at my feet. Sprawled out at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit. That I had beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Rena and Mion were both dead. I felt like there was a crack in the dam of strange emotions I was holding back. I felt like my calm state, which was nothing more than a bluff, had receded, and in that opening, insanity was leaking out. I killed them. I killed them. Rena and Mion. I killed them. The doorbell rang again. The unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I needed to get away. I didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever or whatever had pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would survive. I would definitely survive. How's Coco? She's doing well. She's a pain in the ass, but she's doing alright. I killed Rena for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living. So I can't die. For my sake, and for the sake of the late Rena and Mion, I have to survive. I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again, as if to urge me on. Behind this single, solitary door, they were there. Keeping quiet, I headed towards the kitchen, headed towards the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one? After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly, so as not to make a sound. There he is! The back door! Getting my wisdom teeth out on Halloween. Oh, dang. That's the worst day to... Dang. On Halloween, I'm probably gonna go to another town and go trick or treating with a little cousin, and with my cousins, with my younger cousins. Yeah. A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run. Get out of here, Keiichi. One after the other, I felt stuff like rationale and intelligence. Those things you use when you have time to spare spill out of me. I didn't feel any pain from the brain just scratching my arms and forehead. My autonomously posing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There was nothing else it desired. I probably had no complaints whatsoever. So of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran. Just recklessly through in the direction I was already heading. Even if nobody was chasing after me, I'd still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was headed. Turning around, I felt a presence next to me. That presence was, without a doubt, chasing me like a shadow. If I took one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought. So I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran. At full speed. I should bring Coco? Nah, probably a bad idea. Coco is not nice. That was the chirping of the Higurashi, telling me it was evening, trying to tell me something. And then I finally heard it. The wailing cry of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So I ran towards where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. The farther I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I'm sorry. 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 If your cousins show you candy, yeah. Oh yeah. I felt that only the Higurashi knew. Oh man, I am so close to the end. Come on. Oh, starting to get a little worn down from all the talking. The smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. Expensive smoke filter gave us a cackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why do smokers have to be shoved so far down this corridor where the sun didn't even reach? I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the municipality's revenue. We were the most heavily taxed members of this municipality, so I really wish they'd show us a little more respect. I'm doing a different voice for Oishi. Why would you discard the 5 manzu here? It's just decreasing your option. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with the Mahjong magazine next turn. Too many sorries, yeesh. Yeah. You're still in Tenpai if you cut the 5 manzu. Betting on Haite, then shouldn't you be going into it with Manjan? Manjan? Kuma-chan, look at the pond. They all discarded a 5 manzu. It's a safe tile. You'd hate if at the end of the game someone was sitting on a tenpai on the last turn, wouldn't you? I'm not very familiar with the rules of Mahjong, so I have no idea what these guys are talking about. But it sounds interesting. The kid let out another groan, put on a cigarette, and then took out another one. I just don't agree. Why would you reduce your own options? By the way, you can't call Ron with your winning tile in that high tay. Looks like Wilt from Foster's home keeps saying sorry. Oh yeah. What? Why is that? Just then, I heard a voice coming from down the hall. Are you here, Alicia-san? You have a call from a civilian. Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon. Why can't your call run on it? Hold on a second. Alicia-san. The man sitting in the seat Alicia-san was heading towards waved at the telephone receiver. Outside line. From a payphone. I need a refresher on Mahjong. Oh, why thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Oishi. Who is this? Oishi-san? Hello? If it isn't my Bara-san. Why, good evening. From the tone of my Bara-kun's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time my Bara-kun had phoned me, and he was calling from a payphone. Please, calm down. Did something happen? Well... His voice was erratic over the line. He had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that nobody else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone. What happened? Calm down, my Bar-san. I can have the local officers head to your location. I'll be there soon, too. I think that's impossible. His voice was quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people, even as he was making this call, was he? My Bar-san, you're calling from a payphone right now, right? Where is that payphone? There were no other sounds besides my Bar-kun's voice. It had to be a payphone booth. I scratched down a note and thrust it at my colleague sitting across from me. Hinamizawa, phone booth. He understood quickly and hastily started on the internal lines. Calm down, my Bar-san. What is your current situation? It usually wasn't good enough to tell someone panicking to do so, but this was not a usual case. My Bar-kun didn't just get in trouble, get away, and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now. But yelling at my Bar-kun now would just needlessly cause him to be even more frantic. My Bar-kun wasn't just calling to seek help. He was trying to tell us something more than that. And whatever that was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be another chance. My colleague pushed a note in front of me. There's only one booth in Hinamizawa. Patrol car is on its way. 5 minutes. That's too long. How many officers are in there? 2. Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there were likely quite a few people surrounding my Bar-kun. 5 minutes was too long. Did you call the officer stationed in Hinamizawa? He's scheduled to be on patrol. They're currently out, and it will be impossible to contact them. God damn. Kuma-chan, bring the car around. Understood. Hello? Oishi-san? Hello. It's alright. I can hear you loud and clear. There was something wrong with my Bar-kun. That wasn't a normal coughing sound. Vomiting? Or was it blood? Had he already been attacked? Was he injured? My Bar-san, the police are on their way. They'll be there in a couple of minutes, so hold on somehow. Hello? Can you hear me? My Bar-san. I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit. The worst possible situation popped in my head. My Bar-san. Who is the culprit? How many are there? I thought at first the culprit was human. Couldn't tell if he was coughing or vomiting. Are you alright, my bar-san? I thought that the culprit was a person and not Yashiro-sama's curse. Up until right now. But I guess in the end it was an intense bout of coughing, then vomiting. But I guess Yashiro-sama does exist. No, he's here. My bar-san, please, just calm down. I've been thinking it was strange for a while now. It's been following me this whole time. I run and run and run, but it just sticks to me like a shadow. Slowly, so slowly, it's digging itself into my back. My bar-san, are they right now, perhaps, right behind you? Behind me? Right behind me. Please, my bar-san. I can tell you're scared, but please, who is it that's right behind you? I can't just look behind me. If I do, I'll... I understand that you're scared, but please tell me. You just need to turn around a bit. Who is it? Who is behind you, my bar-san? Right after I said that, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was a nightmarish sound. My bar-san, it couldn't be that you're clawing out your own throat. There was no answer. I could hear something, like scratching. There was a bang, as if something was being hit. My Barakun had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear groaning and vomiting on the other end, and repeating abnormal noise. Hello? Hello? My bar-san? Hello? I knew how far away my voice would sound on the other end, but I couldn't help but shout. At that moment, I heard whispering coming from the other end. I couldn't tell what he was saying. The way he was saying it, was he talking to himself? Or was he talking to someone there? Hello? My bar-san? Rather than whispering, it was like some kind of mantra. He was chanting over and over. Focused my senses, trying to pick up on what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Suddenly, the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because of a payphone. It was because it cut out so abruptly. Last thing he said came out so clearly in my mind. Oishi-san, the car is good to go. Oishi-san? It was... I'm sorry. Oishi-san? That was what he was repeating, over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling. There was no longer a need to hurry. I could hear the chirp of the Higurashi spilling in from the open window. I should have been able to hear them all this entire time. I just wasn't paying attention. Why did I focus on them all of a sudden? Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt. Oh my god, I've gone like way over my usual time to end stream. Oh, in Humizawa, a remote village in Shishibone City, there was a murder involving 2 female students. The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, ran Ryuga and Mion Sonozaki to his house, and beat them to death with a metal bat. The scene of the crime was the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood, and there were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway of the living room and kitchen all had traces of a struggle. At the entryway, a shoe rack and wall had evidence of being impacted by a strong blunt force trauma. It was believed that and in the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it was believed that destruction occurred before the murders. It's possible. God damn it! I can't read that fast enough. In the living room, the rug had been pulled back and thrown aside. It's hard to believe that this had been in connection with the struggle with the victims. Thus, the reason for this remains unknown. In the kitchen, the garbage can was torn apart and its contents spread out on the floor. Garbage was strewn about in the surrounding area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspect is believed. I can't do this fast enough. In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words, "Was there a needle," were written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered. Though the garage door was functional, it had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered on the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown. The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer, Yumizawa Look PD, found the suspect collapsed inside the phone booths. At the time of the discovery, the suspect was unconscious and critical condition. He was rushed to the local hospital for treatment, but did not regain consciousness and died 24 hours later. The result of the autopsy indicate the immediate cause of death to have been hypovolemic shock. It was determined that the suspect had clawed out his own throat with his fingernails. With a similarity to the death of Tomitake-san the prior week, police believed there to be a connection and have opened Oh my god, I can't read this fast enough. I quit. You're just gonna have to catch the ball and pause this to read it, because it's going way too fast for me. Rip. Oh man, my poor throat. Oh man, that wore me out. Ugh. You know, I probably needed a break. I've been talking like all this while, so maybe I needed to stop. So on the first sheet, everything below has been ripped out. Alright, in the second half. Boom! New scenario. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna read that. I'm not gonna do that because you know, they are speculating mostly on what happened, but like, what do you think happened? Did Keiichi actually experience everything that he had experienced, or was it all a hallucination? Boom! So let's see. When I finish the next chapter, because I want to get a sense of like how long it's gonna like how long each of the chapters in the next part are gonna be. But like when I finish that, I'll definitely add that to the schedule and start playing it. Right now, though, I need to go to bed. Oh man, I gotta rest my throat. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you for joining and thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if y'all want to. I think it's a mix of hallucination and suspicion. Behaviors of the townies. Absolutely. Oh man. It is like... And it's kind of crazy that Keiichi's actions started mirroring Satoshi's. It's kind of nuts. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. This has been a wild ride. Whew. Like, comment, subscribe if y'all want to. Let the cry of the cicadas lull you into sleep. Bye.